All right, welcome back. It's been a long time. But we're back. Welcome back to ChicksTape Pod, a basketball podcast from Vendetta Sports Media. I am your host, Alex Chick, and my co-host, Garrett Burrows. Garrett? All right, it's been a long time. I know. Okay, it's not my fault. Blame COVID. I personally want to fight the dude myself. But we're back. There was no basketball forever, and I was dying. Ask Garrett. I was in the hospital. I was
having a rough time.
I was on the deathbed, I was like, give me my drugs.
He had to get resuscitated once the bubble came up.
I almost thought about putting, do not revive, but we're here. We're good. We're alive. Basketball's back tomorrow. Well, this is Wednesday. So we either put this out today or tomorrow. It's going to be back regardless. I'm excited about it. I'm happy. So there's a lot to talk about. And first, I'm going to just give you a rundown. We're going to talk about the 8th seed a little bit in the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference a little bit. We are going to talk about some other seeding matchups that are going to be interesting for the playoffs. And then we'll just go into our regular season picks, MVP, all that jazz. So first, 8th seed is it's a struggle. There's 5 teams going for the 8th seed right now. And there's a lot that I like and there's a lot I don't like. Garrett, so far, how are we feeling about the 8th seed?
I feel like when they released the schedule for the bubble, they really gave the Pelicans and Zion a gift because they want Zion in the playoffs for ratings. So I feel like the easy answer here is to say Pelicans are going to go 6-2, 7-1 in these 8 games because they have a mad easy schedule. So they can. So I'm telling you, they can get Zion in the playoffs. But you never know. Some of these bottom teams in the playoff right now. Couple of injury hits, couple of COVID hits, they fall. You could see someone dude, I'm telling you, I think Memphis has got a tough schedule. I believe in Ja Morant, dude. Ja Morant may find a way to will that team into the playoffs.
It's so man, when I saw that, I was like, man, they really just fucked the Grizzlies. They just there's no way to put it. And you know what? You can tell me that bullshit about, the Memphis had the hardest schedule closing out. And the Pelicans have the easiest schedule. No, this is a conspiracy right here. Shout out to my boy Jackson. He knows.
Give him a gift.
They give him bro. It is such blasphemy how they just gave Zion. They're like, Zion's going to the playoffs, and we're just gonna make it that way. You know what? Good for the Grizzlies though. They're way ahead of schedule and everything. But you kind of alluded to it. The Grizzlies' schedule is tough, and Pelicans' schedule is a little bit easier. The Grizzlies finish out. The last 8 seeding games, they got Portland, they got San Antonio, they got the Pelicans, they got the Jazz, they got the Thunder, the Raptors, the Celtics, and Milwaukee. And those last 4 games, I'm like, oh my god,
tough, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, ideally, the best they could probably go is 4-4. I don't think they can get more than 4 games. And you know what? I'd love for Grizzlies to prove me wrong and say, you know what? Fuck you, we're going to the playoffs, but that's how I see it. I see about 4-4 for them. But the Pelicans, they have the Jazz, the Clippers, Memphis, the Kings, the Wizards, San Antonio, the Kings again, and Orlando. And I'm like, fuck.
There's some gimme games in there.
Bro, there's their ceiling right now is 5 games. I can't. It's 5 games. So there's already a discrepancy between the two. But okay. As a Spurs fan, I feel like my Spurs are out, which is okay. It's okay. I'm all right.
We're not gonna talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm okay because I have the Spurs schedule written down here, and I'll tell you right now, as a Spurs fan, I don't think we're making it. I'm just excited that everything has pointing to the young core playing. I'm excited to see DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Keldon Johnson, all of them players. Lonnie Walker. I love Lonnie Walker. So I'm excited to see those play. I already know we're not making the playoffs. The Kings and the Blazers are kind of interesting. Let's see. The Kings.
You know who just to throw something in there really quick. You know who I didn't realize was going to be back for the bubble, and I didn't realize he was already back from injury. The Blazers got back Yusuf Nurkic, and I feel like that's a big boost for that team because him playing alongside and rotating with Hassan Whiteside. That's a formidable duo up there at the 5 position.
The thing about it is the Blazers' whole problem the whole season was defense. I mean, I think we talked about it on one of our episodes that were so long ago I don't want to talk about. But I think their biggest problem was defense, and they get Nurkic and they get Zach Collins back. And Zach Collins he's so-so, but he's really a defensive guy. So you're getting back two of your best defensive players for the bubble. I mean, that really just helps. Even though they're tied with the Pelicans and everything, and
But they're out of it. They're not going to make it, but they're going to play more competitive basketball than what they were going to before.
I mean, okay, their schedule is tough. But it just really depends on how their defense plays. And, Dame in the playoffs, Dame's Dame, man. It's
Dame time.
It's Dame time, basically. So, okay, the Blazers have the Grizzlies, which that could be a really good if they win that first game, that really helps them already. But they have Boston, the Rockets, Denver, the Clippers, the Mavericks, and the Nets. So they have, 6 hard games, basically. I mean, Dallas is kind of hard, but other than that, they still got Boston, Houston, Denver, and the Clippers, and it's just like, fuck. Sorry.
Dallas is a good team, dude. Dallas is going to be scary.
You know what, bro? Dallas is another team that's ahead of schedule. Like, the Grizzlies and Dallas, they're ahead of schedule already.
Dallas is a guaranteed playoff team next year. And I'm not talking like 7, 8 seed. Dallas is probably like a 5 seed next year, 4 or 5 seed.
I can see it. It depends on what they do. If they get back Tim Hardaway Jr., or if they get someone better. But Tim Hardaway Jr., he's a hooper. Like, then he played for the Knicks.
Hooper, yes, but like you gotta build around your team, and Luka and KP are offensive wizards, but you need someone in there as a defensive anchor, and Tim Hardaway Jr. is not that guy.
No, he's not. But you know what? I hate the Mavericks, but you know what? I do like Luka and KP. I've always liked them though. So
Luka is gonna run this league in a couple of years.
That's scary. I hate that actually.
Luka and Jokic are going to be the 2 players running the West for the next 8-10 years.
Probably. And it's just like, great. Good. I like that. I really do. I really like that. And then just to round it out, we have the Kings, who they play San Antonio, Orlando, Mavericks, the Pelicans, Brooklyn, Houston, the Pelicans again, and the Lakers. So they got a little bit of a easier schedule than the Blazers. So I don't know. I don't think the Kings are in it. I think, and didn't they lose Marvin Bagley?
That sounds
about right. Yeah. So they got them, and I think they're out about that. So if I had to rank it, I think just because the Grizzlies have the lead right now, I'll put the Grizzlies first. I think they're if I had to place odds. So I got the Grizzlies. I got to go.
Wait, you have the Grizzlies over the Pelicans?
Just because they have that lead, but I don't know. I don't want to give up on the Grizzlies. I really want Zion and the Pelicans in the playoffs, but I don't want to give up on the Grizzlies. I don't want to be that guy to be like, you know what?
Listen, Adam Silver is a brilliant man because he orchestrated this.
He did.
For LeBron and Zion in the first round. And listen, that is a ratings galore, dude.
Bro.
Listen, if somehow the Pelicans can knock off the Lakers in the first round, holy shit. That is a bona fide superstar.
People are going to call you dumb for saying that, but I agree with you. Like,
dude, just imagine.
Like, bro, but you're talking about arguably the best 1-8 matchup ever. Ever. I mean, and like the narratives around it are fucking amazing. First of all, Zion, okay? Zion, as soon as he played that first game, he made 4 threes. He went 4 for like from 3, 22 points. You're like, oh my god,
instantly better than Ben Simmons.
This dude's really good. This dude's really good. I don't know. I'm not gonna make any comment on that because you might be right, but I can't put it there yet. But anyway, what the fuck was I saying? You just ruined it. Oh, there we go. So you got Zion. You got, the Anthony Davis and Lakers trade pieces going at it again. Brandon Ingram's facing his old team with Lonzo. And then you got Anthony Davis facing the Pelicans again. Oh, my God. It's just it's just amazing. It's
more people. If this happens, more people are going to watch that 1-8 series between the Lakers and the Pelicans than watch the finals. Guarantee.
Oh.
Yep. 100%. Especially if the series goes past 5 games, because I feel like most casuals are saying Lakers in 4, Lakers in 5 if they're playing the Pelicans. That could be a 7-game series. And listen, Game 7 will outdo ratings and eyeballs on TV sets watching that game than Game 1 of the finals. Easy.
You know what? I'm gonna write that down because
Listen,
get an expo marker and put it on there.
I'm gonna put it up here. I'm gonna put it right up here next time. At me at Freezing Cold Takes. I don't care, dude. Forget about it.
But it's fucking wild though. Like I honestly guaranteed 6 games. One like if Pelicans go 6 games, automatic. I don't give a fuck what you say. Okay, after LeBron and AD, nobody. You're gonna tell me you're putting the hands in Kyle Kuzma and Alex Caruso? No, sir.
And I'll give you an even bolder take here. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Lakers Pelicans. First round matchup. Pelicans take game 1.
God, could you imagine? Oh my God, Lakers fans like they could win in 5. The Lakers could win in 5. They're not going to, but God, Lakers fans would be so quiet on the timeline.
Twitter would implode.
Bro, you know how many people would be talking shit to Lakers fans because this whole time, this 3-4 month hiatus, they've been just saying Lakers in 4. Hey, Lakers in 4. You know what? We lost Avery Bradley. Don't matter. Lakers in 4.
But listen though, like one thing to consider too is Anthony Davis is having this eye stuff now. Like he's getting checked out by doctors for his eye and stuff. Like what if he's got to miss time?
Oof.
That could be because listen, after LeBron, like you said, no AD. You mean to tell me that your second best player in this team is Kyle Kuzma?
Yeah,
that's not even a playoff team.
Hey, yo, Nick Wright, great. He's a great NBA analysis. You know what he said? He said LeBron and Alex Caruso are one of the best duos in the league. You know what? I'm not even worried about the Lakers at all. If Nick Wright said it, you know, while he was gargling, while he was like choking on LeBron's dick, man, he must mean it.
Them folks at FS1 must not drug test.
Bro, either that or bro, just get
Nick Wright just showing up to work high as hell every single day.
You know what? You want LeBron's comeback, bro? Just scrape it off Nick Wright's teeth, man. Because that guy, it's just, oh my God, he's just anything he says. It's either Patrick Mahomes or LeBron James. Doesn't matter. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna put the Grizzlies above the Pelicans for now. I know, but I can't give up on the Grizzlies yet. I can't, but I'm putting the Grizzlies above, but I really want the Pelicans to go. So it's like 1A, 1B. After that, I gotta go with the Blazers. They got a hard schedule, but I think if their defense shows up, they could win 50-50 on some of those games. And then I gotta go with the Kings. Just because the easy schedule, and the Spurs, I know the young core is just young, not really experienced. DeMar DeRozan.
So we're just gonna leave the Mavericks at the bottom.
No, the Mavericks are 7th. The Mavericks. They're like.
Oh, you're right. Never mind.
They just haven't clinched the playoff spot, but it's like after the first game they'll clinch one. I feel like it's gonna be like 2 games and they got the 7th spot. So that's why I didn't really include them because I don't think there's a chance they go down to 7. Now, on, a very competitive 8th seed, I don't even want to say it's competitive, but on the Eastern Conference, it's a fucking mess. I mean, whoever Giannis and the 2nd seed, which looks like the Raptors right now, will play, doesn't even matter. I'll take them 4 games. They'll win in 4 games. It doesn't even fucking matter. They're so fucking ass. But like, you're thinking about the Nets, right? The Nets are 7th seed, okay? They got nobody from the original team. They got Karis LeVert. That's basically who they got.
I mean, Karis LeVert a hooper, but you mean to tell me he's going to carry somebody to a play? I don't know, dude.
He's not like, hey, I'm top 10 in this league or top 10 in the Eastern Conference hooper, though. Like, it's like,
I pump the brakes just a little.
I feel but the problem with the Nets is, like, they're bad, but they're not bad enough to miss the playoffs. So it's like, why the fuck are you here? You know what I mean? Like, the Wizards got to the bubble, because they had the chance to make the playoffs. But it's just like, do you really, though? Like, do you really have a chance? If you had Bradley Beal, if they had Bradley Beal, I would say I could see the Nets falling out and maybe.
Isn't he still on the fence, though, or did he officially say he's not playing the
I don't think he's going. If he's not here for the seeding games, it don't even matter. I think he's officially out. So, and then the Magic, I feel like the Magic are going to move up to the 7th spot. Good for them. They'll still lose to the Raptors, Celtics, whoever the fuck is there. But I mean, it's just like the Nets or the Wizards. It's like, bro, you guys are literally ass cheeks. Like, you guys don't even deserve to be here. And it's not really the Wizards or the Nets' fault. Half their team opted out and said no. Wizards lost Bradley Beal. They still have Rui Huchimama. Don't. I don't know how to say his name, so
Alex has a really hard time pronouncing names that aren't
I really do.
names. So
I couldn't be an announcer because I would have to say names, and I'd be like,
that's facts.
nope.
You're gonna botch up someone's name one time. Twitter's gonna explode, and you're gonna lose. You're either gonna lose your job, or you're gonna become the CEO of the company.
I'm gonna be the next booger, just fucking stupid ass shit. No Comicans.
If they get 11 yards on this play, they'll get a first down.
Yes, good
Dogs.
analysis,
Good booger.
Bro, on God though, I couldn't be an announcer because I can't. I mean, but I do like Roy or Rui. I can't even say his first name now. Good.
I think it's Rui.
Roy,
but that last name?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck to you. But I do like him. It's just he's not good enough. I mean,
You know who the Nets and the Wizards remind me of?
Who?
You remember back in like elementary school days where you had PE and you had to play kickball?
Yeah.
And you had to have your 9 players per side. But there was those kids at the end that you didn't want to pick, but they had to be there for because you had to have people to play. I feel like the Nets and the Wizards are those kids at the end who will kick the ball and run to third base instead of first base. You know what I mean? Like they're just there to participate. They're not really there to do anything.
They're there because they just need to.
They're there because they need to fill the roster. They need to fill the bubble, dude.
I mean, it's just so. Oh my God, it's bad though. So I mean, already whoever makes the 1 and 2 seed, they got a cakewalk. So it's they're go ahead and put them to the next round. I don't give a fuck about who these guys are. They're terrible. I'm excited to see Jamal Crawford play. I guess that's a win. I mean,
finally.
I felt like he should have been on a roster. I mean, he was okay. He's okay now. He's a little older now, but I feel like he should have been on a roster. He wasn't going to be a game changer, but
I don't know though. He was hooping in Phoenix.
Oh, I think his last game he dropped 40, 50 points. No.
It's a hooper.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago, though.
Yeah, I was what kind of shape he's in?
I mean, that makes me laugh because, people sleeping on Jamal Crawford coming back, and he's been gone, 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years now.
Yeah.
People are saying J.R. Smith's going to help the Lakers win a title, and he ain't played in a year. And the last time we saw J.R. Smith, he was running out the ball past the three-point line instead of putting up a shot and forcing the game into overtime. So why are we getting hyped about J.R. Smith? Listen, all I'm saying, too, is if you give me a team in their heyday and I'm picking Jay Crossover or Henny Smith, I'm picking Jay Crossover.
Ooh, that is a hot take. I love it, though. Just because I've never been a fan of JR, though. I mean, you got JR and you got fucking Dion Waiters. What a fucking meme. What a fucking meme.
Also, let me ask you this. Do you know where the Philly steak nickname came from? I have no idea. I feel like that wasn't a thing when he was playing in the league before. But now in the bubble, everyone's calling him Philly steak or Philly cheesesteak. I have no idea what the fuck that came from.
It must. Well, we're not elitists. We're not in the Orlando bubble. I feel like you got to be in the Orlando bubble. I feel like everyone knows, but no one's gonna say shit. He must have brought a Philly cheesesteak when he flew down here. He had a Philly cheesesteak, and that was his name.
Maybe he got the Philly cheesesteak in Magic City with Lou Will when he went to go get them wings.
Yeah, deadass. There you go. Bro, on my bucket list, it sounds fucking stupid, okay? But I want to go to Philly.
We're going to Magic City? Oh,
no,
shit.
No,
okay,
no. Well, I mean,
I'm just saying.
To be continued. But no, I want to go to Philly, and it sounds kind of dumb, but I was watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he brought a Philly cheesesteak with a grease through the fucking bag, and I'm like, that's a fucking. I want one of them shits, bro. On God, that is one of my bucket lists. Go to Philly and have
after the world stops ending, we're gonna get the boys together and just take a road trip up to Philly just for cheesesteaks.
Just for a cheesesteak, and there's what you in town for? This.
This is. I literally came for this. We're leaving now.
We're leaving now. Doesn't even get a hotel. Just go ahead and drive back.
Yes.
How far is Philly? No. But yeah, I mean, so before we got off topic, yeah. So it's just it's a meme. I don't like the Lakers at all. But speaking of Philly, let's go ahead and go to Philly. The Pacers and the 76ers are tied for fifth. I hate what's happened to the Pacers. The injuries, the fucking – is it just injuries or someone opt out? I feel like someone opt out. I feel like it's just injuries.
I feel like is Oladipo playing in the bubble?
He said no. He's practicing, and now he's playing. So I think he's in.
He probably is in then.
Yeah, I think they talked him into it, did whatever. I'm glad he's going.
Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis.
No,
dude.
he's
Miles
out.
Turner. Is Sabonis out?
Sabonis
because he had a foot injury. It's true.
Yeah, he has plantar fasciitis. Couldn't be a doctor either. So,
getting his degree in kinesiology, by the way.
Couldn't be a doctor just because I couldn't say like fucking words. So, but yeah, I mean, so it's just like fuck. So Sabonis isn't there. It's like, okay, how good is Miles Turner gonna do? I feel like Jeremy Lamb is still out. Yeah, like he tore his ACL or something, right?
A while ago, maybe.
So yeah, he tore his ACL, so he's out. And then TJ Warren, like people are saying he's good. I'm like, he's all right. He does.
TJ Warren been washed since he got to Phoenix.
Well, I mean, he leads the Pacers in points, no cap. And so I'm like, okay.
Well, that's not hard because they're a defensive team. All you got to average is like 16 points a game with Oladipo.
It's 19 actually, but.
You got a TJ Warren jersey underneath your T-shirt. Jesus.
It's in my closet. But anyway, no. But it's just like I hate that because, you know, with Jeremy Lamb, with Sabonis, I think, and I said it earlier in the year, I think the Pacers were like the most slept on team in the whole league.
They're a dark horse contender.
Because no one would talk about it. And I'm like, bro, they're fucking good. But
they were good before Oladipo came back. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is Nate McMillan is a coach.
Yeah, bro. Like he
getting them boys together. And then when Oladipo came back and he was starting getting back to 75, 80, 85%, then all this rest, he would have come back almost 100%.
Bro, that team was gonna be scary. And then Germany
next year, Pacers up there.
Bro, I'm telling you, like third seed or better. I think I had the Pacers at third seed. I think I had them at like a fifth. Never mind. I don't know. I can't remember. But now with their injuries and stuff, the 76ers, it is scrimmage, and I've been preaching about how I don't really look into the scrimmage games just because it's preseason. You know, most stars play 20, 25 minutes. I don't give a shit. But the 76ers do look pretty good. They look good. But it's just how well is that going to transfer to the actual seeding games? Because if you think about it, their away record is horrendous. And
basically everyone's playing away games right now.
And that's basically – and you know what? That's how the brackology or whatever, that's how they determine, you know, if a team's going to be good on the road is they look at their away record and their neutral venue. So it's like if they can't play in a neutral venue or away record, more often than not, they're going to disappoint you. And I feel like that's what the 76ers are going to do. They're just going to disappoint me because I'm like, all right, 76ers looking good, and then just fall down. And I don't know because they can't shoot. And Al Horford's kind of garbage since he's been there. So
Al Horford kind of been garbage since he's been there. I'm not going to say nothing about Ben Simmons. The world knows how I feel about him. They got a team full of fucking oak trees. Dude, yeah. It's just a bunch of tall motherfuckers running around on the court.
The Rockets were like
rebounds.
The Rockets like, we need a bunch of short motherfuckers. And then the 76ers was like, nah, you need a whole bunch of tall motherfuckers. You need a whole bunch of
tall motherfuckers.
You know what? It would never happen this year or probably next year or ever. So, but could you imagine this Rockets team and the 76ers going at it? Like this whole Redwood team versus the fucking Bush League here.
Like the Rockets' tallest player at center is like 6'7", and the 76ers' shortest player is like 6'11".
PJ Tucker was starting at center at 6'5". So it's just like, oof.
I will give the 76ers credit. I love Matthias Thybulle, dude.
Oh, my man. I wish the Spurs drafted him.
Matthias Thybulle, dude. He's going to be – he fits Philadelphia's identity because he plays defense. He's tough. He's hard-nosed, dude. And this is his second year? Maybe this
is the rookie year.
Oh, dude, he's like in 4 years' time, dude, he's going to be so good.
Because he was there at 19 when the Spurs were drafted, and I was like, I dropped my pencil.
Thybulle is the perfect Spurs player.
Bro, I'm telling
Pop,
you,
dude.
I'm telling you, develop a shot. You're like a major defensive player. Develop a shot, and then it's GG.
Did the Spurs get Samanic at 19?
Luka Samanic, and then
he's not good. I don't think he's gonna be bad though. I low key, I think he might develop into something.
See, what I've noticed is that Pop always develops his bigs like later. Like he always does, because he's like 6'9", 6'10", so he's gonna play power forward. So he like develops them into the player he wants them to be. But you know he has a three because Davis Bertans didn't play at all really, and then Keldon Johnson's getting a lot of minutes now. So I feel like maybe in a couple years, Luka will start seeing some more minutes, but I don't know. I felt like they could have went with Thibault, and I would have been happy.
The Spurs, not to get off topic from the East, this is gonna be the only thing I say about it. The Spurs have an interesting future ahead of them. I think that, and we've talked about this before, and we'll get into it in another episode. But like a lot of it really does depend on what they're going to do with Aldridge and DeRozan. Really does, because they got some nice young pieces there, and if they get off those salary caps, those salary hits, and move that salary around to some other nice players that fit their system, they might not be bad next year. It all depends on what this offseason goes.
So I've been thinking about this, of course, right? Because you know that fucking meme where he's like on the fucking he's got like red string everywhere, and it's from always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's literally me. Anytime with the Spurs or the Raiders, I'm like, okay, you see this right here. So that's what I've been thinking. Now DeRozan said, and this is what the vibe I'm getting. DeRozan said he's not going to opt in unless he gets an extension. Because whatever, I don't care. But LaMarcus Aldridge and if DeMar DeRozan opts in, both of their contracts expire next year. Next year is that legendary free agency class.
I'm not gonna. Go ahead.
So what I'm thinking is if they're trying to convince DeMar to opt in, they're gonna keep LaMarcus Aldridge another year, and I'm gonna hate it, and I'm gonna complain the whole time. But then I'll be fine next year because that's like what, at least 45, 50 million in cap that they can use to get. And then if
they get off the Patty Mills or Bellinelli's contract, because Patty makes like 11 million, doesn't he?
I think Patty's a Spurs lifer. I think he's gonna take a home discount. If I had to guess, I can't see him because he plays, but he's like their energizer. You don't pay an energizer 11 million a year. You just don't.
Well, I mean, the Nuggets paid Kenneth Faried a bunch of money before, but
yeah, I guess. God, Garrett, was he supposed to be an all-star or like?
I'm not talking about it. We were talking about the Spurs.
Anyway, but Marco Bellinelli, I think they're gonna let him walk. Thank you, Lord, baby Jesus. And I might cry if Marco Bellinelli resigns to the team. I think they're gonna let Bryn Forbes walk. They might sign him. I don't know. He's just a shooter and he's a defensive liability, and I hate it. So.
Well, I mean, not to shit on your Spurs parade here, but like,
don't shit on
Pop's getting up there. Well, like, what guarantees do we have that he's? Oh, to be completely fair, if and when Pop leaves, that team is in great hands with Becky Hammond and Tim Duncan.
Oh yeah,
great hands.
Love it.
But they're not going to be nearly the coach year 1 through year 5 probably. No. That Pop is.
No, probably not. But you know what? For me, it's all about the young core. I knew we were going to talk about the Spurs because, it's my team. So let's go back to the East, though. So, yeah, the Pacers and 76ers, I think the 76ers move up. What's interesting, though, is the Heat are 4th, and they got 2 games ahead of the Pacers and the 76ers. I don't think the Heat have enough. I don't think they can catch up to the Celtics or the Raptors. So I'm thinking the Heat. This is without looking at any of their schedules. So I think the Heat are going to stay at 4. But it's kind of important to see who the Heat play because, the Pacers, they're kind of depleted. Maybe they win some close ones, some 50-50 games, and the 76ers stay at 6. Or the 76ers move up. I mean, I think the Heat are just watching those 2 teams like a hawk because that's who they're going to play in the first round, and it's going to be a tough matchup either way, I feel like.
It's going to be a tough matchup, but listen, the Bucks and the Heat in the second round of the playoffs, that's going to be a fucking series, dude.
I mean,
that's going to be a series, man.
Well, let's just say, and you know what, let's say 76ers stay, they go to 5th, right? And they beat the Heat. This is not an official prediction. I'm just saying what if situations. The 76ers built this entire squad to beat the Bucks. And so the Bucks, we already know they're getting a cakewalk. And so the Heat or the 76ers and the Bucks, that's also good, man. That 1 to 4 and 5 matchup is going to be good, I feel like.
That would be arguably the biggest second round matchup as far as a trickle, like a snowball effect in NBA history. And I'll tell you why. There would be massive roster overhauls for the loser of that series. If the 70s, like you said, the 76ers built that team to beat the Bucks, I hot take here, I think they move off of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. I legitimately think they blow the whole team up and start over. At minimum, they trade one of them.
I think they moved Joel.
They moved Joel as well. I
'Cause-
think they moved Joel, the second best center in the NBA. I think they
sir,
move off of
yes,
him.
sir.
I think they move off of him. But there's a lot riding for this Milwaukee team, dude, because like they can't sign free agents to Milwaukee. Who wants to go play in fucking Wisconsin? It's cold all the goddamn time. Wisconsin. Shout out to Miss Dawn from Valdosta, Georgia.
Miss Dawn.
But like, he's out of town, dude. Especially if they lose in the second round, it'd be different if they lose in the finals. If they lose in the finals to whatever team comes out of the West, I'm not going to get into that. If they lose in the finals, he might stay for he might sign a 1-1, like one with a player option or something. But you tell me if they lose in the second round, you expect Giannis to be in a Bucks jersey next year? He's playing in Golden State next year. Get the fuck out of here.
No, don't say that, please.
Nah, dude.
Please.
Listen, I said this earlier in the year. The Warriors are making the conference finals next year. I said it earlier in the year.
They're making the finals next year.
At minimum, they're making the conference finals in the West next year.
I think it's Nets and the Warriors next year in the finals, honestly. And that's just like putting it on the platter right there. So I mean,
because that Nets team's good, dude.
But
I've always liked Kyrie, and then KD coming in. He's finally going to be healthy.
Giannis made another leap in his career, and he's playing better than last year. And last year he was really good. And then now, the Nets team, the Bucks got worse, I feel like. And so, but people are saying because Giannis is playing better, they're going to make the finals. And I just don't see it. Like, I think the Raptors or the Celtics are better than the Bucks. And you know what? That's a hot take, and people are going to hate me for that, but I do.
I don't think that, and this may be a bit of a hot take as well, but like I don't think Giannis has that killer instinct to like literally put the team on his back and carry a team through a series. Like LeBron can do it. We saw Kobe do it. We saw MJ do it. People like that. I don't think he's got that killer instinct. And listen, prove me wrong. Absolutely. I will eat my slice of humble pie if I'm wrong. And if they're down like 2-1 or 3-1 in a series and they come back and win in 7, I'll never say anything ever again about him.
As unguardable as Giannis is, when defenses focus on him, where you're going to look to Chris Middleton to carry the slack.
Exactly.
He's never been. I mean, and that was my biggest thing against the Bucks is like when I watch the 76ers, not the 76ers, the Bucks. I'm all over the place, but when I watch the Bucks play, and Giannis getting double team, triple team, Chris Middleton, it's like, okay, it's your time to take over. Doesn't.
Where's he at?
He plays the game. He's not a game changer. He plays the game, but he's not a game changer.
And you mean to tell me if we're shutting down Giannis and Chris Middleton's having a bad shooting night, we're going to turn to Eric Bledsoe?
Oh, Brook Lopez. That's it.
True.
Finals team.
True, Brook Lopez. Finals team, man.
No, dude. So, and that was my whole thing when we did that Bucks podcast.
Who was? I don't know why the name's like slipping my mind right now. But who did they trade to Indy? There was a third guy there. Do you remember or maybe he signed there or something? It was last offseason. Who went from Milwaukee to Indianapolis, dude? I can't remember.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
I can't but like
I don't fucking know.
But there was a third player there, regardless.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna look it up right now. You keep going. You keep going. I'm gonna look it up.
Hold on. No, you said they were in Indy, right?
Yes, they're in Indy.
Okay, hold on. I don't believe you. Oh, Brogdon. Duh. My bad.
Thank
My
you.
bad.
Malcolm Brogdon.
My bad. That's me. You were right. Because I was lost.
No shade towards Malcolm Brogdon. We're not saying he's a nobody. We just literally I could not think of his name.
Deadass. I was just like,
who the fuck is this guy?
I was like, I had no idea where we were going. But that's the small market teams. Those are small market teams, so that's why. But yeah, that's an interesting point to bring up about the Pacers. Tied for fifth. They still got Malcolm Brogdon. He's back, I think. Or I don't know if he ever left or injured, but he's still there. So that's another interesting point, but I don't know. I think right now, I think the top 3 are secured. It's just that 4 through 6. I don't think the Heat dropped down farther than 5, but for the Celtics, I think, who are third, it's very important to see who they play because I think they can outscore the 76ers. I think they can beat the Pacers, and the Heat are just really defensive. So I don't know. It's interesting. Now, anything else on the East? Because we're about to go to the West.
Nah.
All right. Whew. The West. You want to talk about tight? So basically the seeds 4 through 7 are up for grabs, and I'll tell you why. OKC's 4th right now, but they're tied with the Rockets at 5th, which that would be a really great matchup. I'd love to watch that matchup. But OKC's 5th. The Rockets are 6th. I put this in the wrong order because I'm a dumbass. The Jazz are 4th right now.
God, are you even a professional?
No.
Get your shit together.
You know what? Shut the fuck up. Anyway, and then the Mavericks are 7th. Right now, the Jazz are one game ahead of the OKC and the Rockets. And then the Mavericks are 1.5 games behind OKC and the Rockets. So it's like 3 games that could change up the whole fucking thing. So it's going to be literally
quick back-to-back wins versus back-to-back losses or somebody. Someone falls from 4 to 7, dude.
Bro, it could fuck you. So all these games are very important for these teams. Now, the Jazz lost Bojan Bogdanovic. I believe he's Bojan, and I think the Kings have Bogdan. I don't know. You shouldn't have the same last fucking name.
I think that's right.
Yeah. So Bojan for the Jazz is out with wrist surgery or whatever, so he's out. He's done. And he was their second leading scorer. So I think they're done. I mean, let's be honest here. This Jazz team was not a very scoring. They weren't very, offensive to begin with. They were defensive. Quinn Snyder runs a very molasses kind of pace. So really all their points was, hey, we're going to score at a low pace, but our defense is going to carry us over. But if they don't have their 20 points per game scorer on their team, I mean, is there really any hope for them?
Well, I think also one thing to consider too is I don't think as much as they've come out in the media and said, hey, we're good, we're homies, we're boys again, I really don't think that relationship is repairable between Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. I really don't.
They got to trade Gobert.
There's no way you trade Donovan Mitchell. There's no way.
No. Oh, you know what? Actually, Rudy Gobert, he is my sleeper pick for Defensive Player of the Year just because he did the whole coronavirus thing. So, he blocked the whole league.
That's toxic. That's so toxic.
I mean, but no, not really. Rudy Gobert's garbage. He's ass cheeks, but
all right, he's not ass cheeks.
He's not ass cheeks. I just kind of hate him.
Starts center for most teams in this league, but
he hurt my
only
feelings.
For a defensive presence.
No, he hurt
only
my feelings.
I know he did. He hurt a lot of people's feelings, Alex. That's okay. But listen, it's back. We'll be all right. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be distrust there on the court. It could lead to some tension in the locker room. And then they run the offense through Mitchell. Gobert's not going to get them any touches. To be fair, he doesn't get a lot of touches to begin with because he's not a very viable scoring option. But he's going to look away from Gobert on purpose. And he's going to try and force the issue to other players, which is going to cause turnovers.
Yeah, because you know what? I address him on the court. I'd say, fuck you. I'm still past you because I'm a winner, though. I like to win.
I think the top 3 seeds in the West are locked. I do think it is.
I don't think they move.
Clippers, Nuggets. I don't think they move at all.
It's just because the Clippers and the Nuggets, they might have like a game or two ahead of them, but they'll probably just stay around where they're at.
But I think the Clippers and the Nuggets both go. I feel like they have the same record.
Yeah.
They probably go 6-4, 7-3 over the next 10.
6-4.
They just
next 10. There's only 8 games. Oh, are you a professional? Get your shit together.
Fair enough.
But okay, so as a Nuggets fan, and you are the 3rd seed, or not you, but the Nuggets, who would you like to see the most out of these?
The first round?
Teams? Yeah, first round.
In a perfect world, I'd love to see – I think I'd like to see Utah the most.
Yeah.
I think Utah would be not the easiest matchup because legitimately, out of the top 7 teams in the Western Conference, there's no easy outs.
Yeah.
There just isn't. They're the superior conference. They always have been, and they will be probably for a really long time. But, like, Utah, I think, is a very favorable matchup for Denver. I think Houston's a very favorable matchup for Denver. Teams I don't want to see the Pelicans.
You won't
I
see
do
the Pelicans.
I don't want to see
that high.
I don't want to see Dallas. I think Denver could beat Dallas in, like, there's the ceiling's 5 games. I think 5 to 7 games. It's not a sweep, obviously, and 5 is me being pretty generous. But, like, I don't know, dude. I like this Dallas team a lot. I think they got big potential. Rested up KP, rested up Luka.
We've always been a big fan of Rick Carlisle too.
True, that is true. He's a superior coach for sure.
He's a damn good coach, man.
I feel like in a perfect world, I don't want to fall to 4. I don't want the Nuggets to fall to 4. I don't want that second round matchup with the Lakers. I do think Denver beats the Lakers.
But if you can avoid that as long as possible.
If I can avoid playing the Lakers, if Denver can avoid playing the Lakers for the conference finals.
Yeah.
LeBron's a little more tired. AD's tired. Maybe got some COVID hits. Obviously, that's not what I'm wishing, obviously, but that's just kind of the world we're living in right now. That could lead to a more favorable matchup for Denver.
That's if the Nuggets make the conference finals.
Which they will.
Oh, over the Clippers?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Write that on your board too, just so we know.
I will. I have the first thing up here. I'll have the first thing up here. I'll have the Nuggets thing up here because it's more important.
Okay, there you go.
Next episode, guys, keep watch for what I got on the board because I'm gonna start putting shit on the board. I'm gonna have my camera like up this way now, and I'm gonna have more shit on my board so you guys can read my funny shit while we're talking shit.
Don't forget to beat my meat.
I got that on my phone. Don't worry about it.
Like 8 o'clock. Oh, it's 8 o'clock.
You remember in SpongeBob where Patrick sets an alarm for 3 a.m. to eat a Krabby Patty? That's what I do.
It's that midnight. It's that midnight yank. You gotta get out of your system so you can have a better sleep. I understand. Yeah.
It's just a little nap, then an extra level of relaxation, so I can get into that nice deep REM sleep, dude. That REM.
This is where we were. Boom. Okay. So, yeah, I think there's a chance that the Jazz fall to 7th, actually, which would be bizarre because, you know what, I've raved about this Jazz team this whole season, and then after that, I was like, oof. And then you're talking about, Donovan mentioned Rudy Gobert, and that could cause issues on the court, and that's just a bigger oof. And so I was just like, fuck. So, and if Dallas is as good as you say, I don't think Dallas goes to 4th or 5th, but I think they definitely move up to 6th. And then you guys would play
Which, like I said, less than ideal situation, but I don't see a scenario where Denver loses in the first round.
Well, I mean, they have KP, you have Bol, so I mean, it's just like,
practically the same player.
Yeah, practically the same player.
And then we're gonna be having this conversation this time next year, and we're gonna be talking about Bol for MVP. It's not a big deal.
Okay, I'm glad we took a moment of silence just to be like, okay, that doesn't even no.
I'm gonna have that up here as well. Bol 2021 MVP.
And you know what? When he's like, they're gonna circle that, and then people are gonna like screenshot it and take a circle around it, and then just be like at you, like, really.
And
really,
next year when he doesn't, but the Nuggets.
No, I mean they're gonna do that next year when he's not even in the running. He's not even in the running. You're telling me Nikola Jokic can't even win the MVP, but Bol does?
Listen, he got disrespected last year.
He did. I'm a big fan of Jokic. I like Jokic.
He deserved to get votes.
Yes.
I don't think he got a ton of votes last year.
This year
is a different story. Last year he had a case last year. I wouldn't say he got robbed, obviously, because he didn't. I don't think being a Nuggets fan, bias aside, I feel like he was top 3.
Now, is the Bol MVP pick, is that bias aside or is that with bias? I just want to know.
No, that's just that. No, like okay. Listen, here's the thing. Like, obviously, if Lonnie Walker, here's the thing. If Lonnie Walker balls out,
Lonnie Walker's gonna be MVP.
Listen. Lonnie Walker starts game 1 of the seeding games. Spurs go 9-1 and they make the 8th seed, and Lonnie Walker averages 29, 8, and 6 a game. You're gonna be saying Lonnie Walker for MVP next year.
8 games, Garrett. 8 seeding games, by the way. Just so you know, there's 8. Can you count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
7-1. 7-1. The Spurs go 7-1. And Lonnie Walker puts up those stats. You're gonna be saying the same thing.
Well, because because I don't believe it. As a Spurs fan,
obviously, listen. Do I actually think Bull is gonna win MVP next year?
Yes.
No.
Sometimes, Garrett, you said Kenneth Faried was gonna be an All-Star.
Listen. That
and there
man
was no
balled
bias.
out for the U.S.
And
team.
there was no bias on that one.
But I had proof to back it up. Listen, go back and look up those stats.
I'm gonna go back
the year
and look
he played for the FIBA World Cup team.
What team is he playing for now?
Balled out, bro.
What team is he playing for?
Well, he last played for Houston. Right?
Yeah.
Did he play for Houston last?
See, you don't even know.
Well, it's not like I'm out here sucking Kenneth Faried's dick every night.
Every night? No.
Well, not every night, but like, man's got a life.
He's got a wife and kids and all that jazz. He's got a family. God.
Not a home wrecker. Well.
But I. Oh no! Okay. No one needs to know about that. Okay, we're just gonna. Whoosh. We're past that. Use your context clues.
Oh no!
Just use your context clues. You might figure out what. So I'm going back to basketball. Actually, I think OKC. I'm going back to basketball. I think OKC and the Rockets are going to go 4th and 5th. And then if I had to put my official prediction, I think it's OKC, Rockets, Mavericks, and Jazz for 4 through 7. And I think that's any way I put that around. I think that's Mavericks.
So you
might
probably
be
have
good
the
enough.
Jazz going like 3 and 5.
I don't know. I don't have much faith in that team. So
that's fair.
Even though I had a lot of faith in them throughout the season.
At the start of the year, yeah.
At the start of the year, but and I'm a man. I can admit that. Hey, fuck. Changed my mind. But I think the Mavericks could even be better than the Rockets, and that's just because I hate the Rockets and I hate James Harden and
Facts.
Fuck those guys. I do like Westbrook. I think he's a. I think it's too much hate. James Harden deserves it. All the hate he gets. No cap.
Harden and his dumbass big old beard, his Blue Lives Matter sleeve he wore on his face. You ever seen a blue person? Nah. Next.
I mean, how dumb do you have to be like, oh, I didn't know it. I just thought it looked cool.
My man's dumb as hell.
With the whole thing going around, it's just like, oh yeah, no.
We're not going to get into social topics right now. We're just going to leave it at that. But you expect me to believe he didn't know that, bro?
Yeah,
I don't
fucking know.
Get out of here.
Okay, I think that's all the seeding that I really kind of wanted to talk about. Let's get into the last segment of At Least Basketball. Our regular season pick. We'll save MVP for last. Let's go with the less important ones. Let's go with most improved player. Who do you got?
Most improved player is easily Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram?
100%.
I like it.
I think excuse me, I think there's you got your 3 candidates. I think it's Brandon Ingram, Bam, and then the kid from Charlotte, Devontae Graham.
Oh yeah, I love that kid.
Devontae Graham, I like, dude. He's been hooping this year.
Hooper, that's a.
But and Bam coming up being an all-star this year. He's playing. He's a key cog in that Miami wheel to this playoff push right now. But I don't know, dude. You can't sleep on Brandon Ingram's season this year and the way he's balled out, having the team as his own team and not having the pressure of LeBron James breathing down the back of your neck.
Yeah. And, the fear of being traded every day before the trade deadline.
Literally every single day.
Yeah. And then after the trade deadline.
Not getting any sleep on the trade deadline.
And then just waiting until after the trade deadline to be traded in the off season. Just, thinking about that. So, I went with I do love Brandon Ingram. I do. I love his game. And you know what? I'm glad he exploded. I'm gonna stick with Bam though. Just because Bam was like, he wasn't unheard of. Like, real basketball heads knew who Bam was last year, but he like exploded. And Bam is like, and a lot of Heat fans are talking about, oh yeah, Bam's like one of the best centers in the NBA. He's not one of the best centers, and he's a really good center though. And I think he's made a really massive jump for the for the Heat. And, I really like Bam's game too. I'm just going to stick with Bam because I think that's where the voting is going to go. Maybe not my pick, but I think the voting is going to take it to Bam. I think that's what. Let's go 6-man. Who you got 6-man?
I feel like the default answer is Lou Williams.
You got to go with Lou. You got to go with sweet Lou.
I feel like the default answer is Lou Williams here. I don't really have much of an opinion for 6-man of the year because I don't know. I've said this in earlier podcasts. I got to exit out my laptop. I've said this in earlier podcasts. Well, no, I got that on private mode. Don't worry about that. I'm not a big fan of 6-man of the year awards. I don't really care about them. I think they're an overrated award. I don't really see why it's an award in general. I don't really
skewed. I don't like it. You come off the bench and you play 30 minutes, and it's just like you're playing starter minutes.
Basically, yes. And you're obviously going to have higher averages than actual people who come off the bench and put on 18 to 20 minutes a game because you're playing more.
Yeah.
I don't know. My default answer is Lou, but I don't really.
I feel like if they really wanted to make 6-man more interesting, is cap it at 20 minutes, maybe 25. Cap it at that. So if you're average,
25 minutes a game.
If your average is over that, you're automatically disqualified. You can't. And so it's just like I feel like that's fair. And you know what? So people are playing 30 minutes a game, playing starting minutes, but you're still 6-man a year just because you don't.
Which blows my mind too. Like there are people who come off the bench and play 30 minutes. Like why aren't you starting then? Ginobili did that, but he played with a lot of the second squad. Lou Williams just comes off the bench and he plays with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. So it's just like, well, what was the point? Why did you do this? You did this for why?
You did this for why? Let's go defensive player of the year. Who do you got?
I got Giannis for the simple fact that he's 6 foot a million with a wingspan of as large as my bedroom right now. And you could literally put him on any position. You could put him on point guard and he'll shut down point guards, or you can put him on centers and he'll shut down centers. I've never seen anything like it. You can put him on you put him on LeBron, you put him on Steph, put him on Paul George, you put him on Devin Booker. He's going to shut anybody down. Yeah. And I think I looked into this earlier, and he has his defensive win shares is the highest in the NBA right now, and it's not even really close as far as like defensive win shares go. Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily close. So like, I think Giannis is the clear pick here.
I'm gonna go a different route. And I love Giannis, and I think the voting's gonna go between these two, but I'm gonna go with Anthony Davis, just because the Bucks are already kind of a defensive team. We saw that last year, and you know what? Giannis is a big part of that. But the Lakers they're just not that good defensively. Let me rephrase. They're not as good as the Bucks defensively, but Anthony Davis brings a lot of defense to that team. He protects it. He does. And come on.
No, your audio got mad loud for some reason, and you started like yelling in my headset. I don't know what happened.
But so I don't like the Lakers, but I do think Anthony Davis deserves a lot of credit for how that defense is carrying himself for the Lakers. But Giannis is a better defensive player, but I think he's also a better defensive system. So I'm just going to stick with AD because you know what? With the media bias, and I think that's who they do the defensive player of the year. I think they're going to just give it to Anthony Davis, and then they're going to give MVP to Giannis. Oh my God! Spoiler!
You really ain't a professional out in these streets. Holy shit!
Oh my God!
Well, fuck Rookie of the Year, I guess.
Well, we're just
going to go straight to MVP.
Okay, well, we'll get back to the Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year. I already said Giannis is my MVP. Garrett, who's your MVP?
The clear MVP this year is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
And it shouldn't be any other way.
It shouldn't be any other way. It really shouldn't be any way. There's no argument.
No, absolutely not. I don't want to hear anything you want to say about LeBron because all that shit is all narratives. Oh, he's in year 17. He's 35. He has gray in his beard. I don't give a fuck. Giannis is the clear MVP.
Next.
Okay, let's go to rookie. No. Let's not do rookie of the year. Let's do coach of the year. Who do you got?
Coach of the year, 100% is Nick Nurse.
Has to be. Has to be.
That team lost Kawhi Leonard after coming off of a championship season, and they're still the second seed in the Eastern Conference. And they're a good team. That team is good.
I think they could go back to the finals.
I legitimately do. I think they are a Eastern Conference championship-bound team.
And you know what?
Them in Boston.
Garrett, I'm gonna commend you again because you were on this train before anyone else, and I was not on this train. I thought
you were mad sleeping, dude.
I thought the Raptors would make the playoffs, but I thought they would be around 5th and 6th. But you know what? I'm a man about these things. I was wrong. I'm on the Raptors train now. I'm like, okay,
and it's a big
choo.
Nurse, but like I don't know. I might be the only believer on Twitter in Kyle Lowry. Legitimately.
Well,
I love Kyle Lowry, but everybody shits on Kyle Lowry, and my man's is still balling this year, and he's still slept on. And people like you are saying, nah, Kyle Lowry ain't that good. But he's leading the team to a 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference.
I would take Fred VanVleet over Kyle Lowry. I would.
What? I can't believe the words you're saying out of your mouth right now. I can't even believe this.
I like Cal. I don't like Kyle Lowry.
My man said in 2020 he would take Fred VanVleet over Kyle Lowry. I can't believe it.
Who was better in the finals last year? Fred VanVleet or Kyle Lowry?
Unbelievable.
I mean, who was better last year though in the finals? Who saved that Raptors team? I mean, Kawhi Leonard obviously did, but who was like
role guys play their roles to perfection. And
Fred VanVleet, he's more than a role guy. No, he's more than a role guy.
This is no shade towards VanVleet. He's gonna sign with the Knicks for $96 million in the offseason.
That's big shade.
He's gonna start at point guard in the Knicks. And he's a starting guard. He just doesn't start over Kyle Lowry.
I don't think the Raptors are as good if they didn't have VanVleet at all.
So you mean okay? Let's do this.
Because Kyle Lowry had DeRozan, and they didn't do shit for years.
If you start Fred VanVleet and Kyle Lowry comes off the bench, are they the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference?
Yes.
Nope.
Yes. The team is deep on its own.
I don't have one on right now, but that's cap.
Throw his headband.
Yeah.
Throw his headband.
Nah, dude, that's cap. Oh my god.
We can talk about that another day, but you know what, Nick Nurse.
Listen, that's gonna be the leading topic in the next podcast.
All right, here we go.
Kyle Lowry's the top.
You're gonna be like eagle eye on these goddamn stats. You're like, look, who's producing more?
Listen,
Okay.
Y'all sleep on Kyle Lowry. It's a shame.
I don't know what it is about Kyle Lowry. I just don't like him. Nick Nurse is coach of the year. Should not be any question. Is there any other candidates? I mean, of course, we know who's going to win. Do you have any other candidates? So that just dark horse, let's just say.
I think Mike Budenholzer is going to get some votes. I think someone – and this legitimately is no bias here. I think Mike Malone should get some votes. I think Mike Malone slept on as a head coach. I think he's – and to be fair, I've said this in past podcasts. I was not a big fan of the Mike Malone hiring. I wasn't. But he's the perfect fit for this Nuggets team. I think he's a dark horse vote. I really do think the vote should be unanimous to Nick Nurse. But yeah. Mike Budenholzer is your second option.
This is my dark horse. It's a little bit of sleeper pick, but I really like what Billy Donovan did.
Yeah, that's true. Because nobody had any expectations for that Oklahoma City team.
No, except for Thunder fans. And so you know what? God bless. I mean, he's got a resurgence in Chris Paul's career when I thought he was done. Dennis Schroeder's now consistent. SGA was a young player. He's now established.
Alexander, man, he's a baller.
Gallinari came back from injury, stayed healthy, and is obviously a great piece.
And Steven Adams, dude, I've always been big on Steven Adams.
Steven Adams is just a funny guy, man. That guy, just he's like a big tough guy, but he's also like a softie too. Like
if Jason Momoa played a sport, he's Steven Adams playing basketball for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I act like I know who that is. So, yeah, I feel like it's Nick Nurse. I do like Billy Donovan. I would like to see, I just want to see what the standings were. Nick Nurse should be unanimous though. There should be no
I'd be very curious to see the votes for every single award. I'd be curious to see the votes on who got what.
And I think they do that in the playoffs. So we could probably touch on that. Okay, Rookie of the Year, no question.
Nope.
No question. It's jaw. It's jaw.
Not even close.
Do not give me that Zion shit, because we just raved about Zion at the beginning of this. We love Zion. Guys played 19 games. No way. You can't do that. You cannot do that to Morant. He's played the whole year, played very well the whole year, and we already knew he was going to be good when he was playing at Murray State. So, I mean, he's undisputed. You know what? And Zion, people are going to be like, look back when Zion's a fucking superstar. Like, how did he not win Rookie of the Year? It's because he played 19 games.
Yeah.
You played the full season? Yes, that's a good discussion that I like to get into. But
I've been thinking about this over the past like week or so, because like so for preface here, Alex and I.
Look, listen. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, because I'm curious what you're gonna say here.
Are you talking about me like every week, like, hey, we're gonna do a podcast this week, and then I just don't like?
No, that is true. Alex has been texting me once a week for the past month saying, hey, we're doing a podcast on this day. And I'm like, all right, brother, locked and loaded, ready to go. And then here we are, first podcast in 3 months. Not a big deal. We're back.
Bro, like, okay.
We're back and we're ready to rumble. No. So to preface what I was going to say, Alex for like 2 or 3 weeks now has been grinding NBA 2K on PlayStation. That's all he's been talking about. I've been playing this so much. I've been playing it as well. I got into it like 3 or 4 days ago. It's literally the only game I've been playing. And I've been thinking about it. I've been starting franchise mode with players. I've been starting the offseason like you can do, and you're doing the redraft and stuff like that. This is going to be a hot take. I'm not saying 100% I do this, but like I don't know that it's a lock that Zion goes 1 in a redraft.
In this, you mean like after this year, like same rosters as last offseason, but like redrafting?
Yes, exactly. So like you know how like every couple of years they'll do like, hey, redrafting the 2015 NBA draft or whatever.
If the
and
Pelicans
they do the
are
original
number
picks
one,
and the first picks. Yes, if the Pelicans are number 1, I don't know that they take Zion again.
You do.
I don't know, man.
100%. You do. If they didn't, and you're not a big Lonzo guy, and I don't.
No.
Frankly, I'm not either. I think he's kind of decent. He's not what he was supposed to crack up to be, but he's not a bust. I don't think he's a bust. If they didn't have Lonzo or maybe even Drew Holiday, I could see it. I could see him taking a job. But it's just, I think, honestly, I think it's closer than what people realize, though. I mean, people look at Zion like he's automatic number 1. Not always. If, you put any team, you go through all 30 teams, and you say, okay, they're the first-round pick. Who do they pick? I think it might go 50-50 just because of needs on the team. But as far as Zion being the best number 1 pick for each team, no, I don't see it at all. I don't.
Well, people say too that like oh dude, Zion's gonna take over the league and he's a once in a generational talent. That's mad disrespectful to Ja Morant saying he's not once in a generation talent, because that dude in 5 years we're gonna be talking about him as the best point guard in basketball.
Over
legitimately.
Luka? Over Luka?
Listen. I don't like this is another topic for another time. My hate towards players playing the wrong position. I don't think Luka's a point guard.
He plays like one.
He plays the 1 and he plays like a 1, but he's way too big to be a 1. This also goes into the Ben Simmons conversation.
Oh, so you don't like Magic Johnson?
You know how I feel about Magic Johnson, which also is a mad hot take because I've told you some things that you hate.
I hate that. I hate that. First of all, this man said Steph Curry is better than Magic Johnson. Okay, you know what? You can have your wrong opinion. But to not put Magic Johnson in the top 10 is where I draw the line. I think he's top 5, top 4 if I want to be very specific. But there's no way that I can't say – Steph Curry revolutionized the game, and you know what? That takes a lot. But Magic Johnson's the best point guard of all time at this moment. Maybe in a couple years it changes. Magic Johnson still my pick though.
Disagree. That's fine.
But yes, Ja Morant, and I feel like
to get back on topic. I don't think it's a guarantee that Zion. And a lot of it goes into what you said as well. Like given the current order of the roster, this isn't saying doing the draft lottery again and having everyone pick again. That's not what we're saying. We're saying the Pelicans are on the clock. I don't think it's a number. It's like a lock. Like, hey, as soon as we're on the clock, the pick is in, and it's Zion.
I think it's
there's some
75-25.
debate.
75-25, I feel like.
And what you were saying before about if they didn't have Lonzo or Drew Holiday, I think what you do is you run Ja at the 1, Lonzo at the 2, and you trade Drew Holiday, get some cap relief.
Yeah, you can do that. Because that's a young team. That's
a young team. Now the only downside is accumulating all these young players. Brandon Ingram's going to be coming up on a contract year, I think, next year. I think this is the last year of his team options. He's going to be a restricted free agent next year, I believe. You got Jackson Hayes, who I'm big on. Jackson Hayes is going to be in line for a big contract. You're going to have to sign Lonzo. Then you're going to have to sign Ja or Zion, whoever you have, if you make that trade. If you don't have Drew Holiday, that's 4 contracts, $25 to $40 million a year. You're going to have to pay out over the next 5 years. That's the downside of rebuilding and taking it almost too seriously and like super rebuilding and getting a bunch of 19, 21-year-olds.
So many good players can be the death just because
exactly
because they're going to want to get paid, and I don't blame them. So it's just
if you got those 4 guys, realistically, you can give 2 of them max contracts, and someone's going to have to take a pay cut. You mean to tell me you got 4 stallions on your team, and you got to give 2 maxes to 2 of them and ask 2 guys to take pay cuts? They're not going to do that.
No, they're just going to go somewhere else. And you know what? I can't blame them. And that's, man, it sucks when you're too good at rebuilding. It's just, that's what happens, you know. But I think that was all of them, right?
Yes, because you jumped the gun on MVP.
I did. Yep, I sure did. You know what? And I said my pick, and I got it out there.
God, you always do shit too early, don't you?
Yep. You know what? Ask my wife. No, probably shouldn't have said that one.
Yikes!
We didn't hear anything. Okay. No. Anyway, I think that's about it, isn't it, Garrett?
Yeah. Are we gonna have story time this week?
Oh, I forgot about story time. Okay.
Who did you go last time? What was the last story that we shared? I can't remember because it was fucking 3 months ago.
I don't remember.
I'll go. I got a story lined up.
Okay, go ahead. I'm ready.
So we've reached your part of your daily scheduled programming where it's story time, where it's the misadventures of Garrett and Alex. Or I guess it should be Alex and Garrett's because it's alphabetical order. Whatever.
Either way.
Doesn't matter.
Either way, yeah.
So as we know from our listeners so far who listen to this podcast, which we really appreciate, by the way, I like to talk shit. I have a very big mouth, and it gets me into trouble sometimes. And there's been a couple of occasions where my mouth has gotten us into some potentially hairy situations. And we have talked about before when Alex and I were in El Paso, and we went to go see the McGregor-Mendez fight, and we almost got in that fight with the big black dude. Well, another time, so I was visiting, I think this was right after my family moved to Colorado and Alex's family moved to San Antonio. And I was visiting his family in San Antonio. And for any San Antonians listening to the podcast right now, everyone knows what Slitterbahn is.
Yeah.
Slitterbahn is the water park in San Antonio. Good time. Don't know if it's still open. If it isn't,
it is.
Rest in peace. If it is,
it's not open.
It's not open right now, obviously, but was open before the world started to end.
I think it's still open.
They have like a little, like a big pool area. It's like, I don't know, maybe 4 feet tall at its highest, and they have basketball rims.
I think it's about
inside
3.
this little pool area, 3 to 4 feet or so.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how we got into this game. I don't know if we had a ball we were playing, or we found a ball we were playing, or we just walked up to these guys and asked
we
them to play.
We found the ball, and we were playing with me, you, and my brother. And then more people started coming, and then like a group of 4 or 5 came, and
then we decided to run a game. I think we were playing 5-on-5, which water basketball is wild, so much fun. Except this one time, I never had so much non-fun in my entire life. So there we are. I'm probably like 17. We're probably 16.
No, this is right after sophomore year. So we're
like 15 years old.
No,
or so.
You're 16. I just turned 16. So
I don't
young.
know ages.
We're young.
We're young is the preface of the story.
Yeah.
And so.
And we're not big guys either. Okay. I mean,
as you can tell now on Zoom, we're very small boys.
And I was like maybe I was still 5'8", maybe like I was maybe like 120 pounds. Like, I mean, $120. It's just
kind of like what I am now, 5'11", like 135 pounds.
Yeah, we're not big guys. We're not. So
these guys come, right, and we're playing 5-on-5 basketball. And for reference here,
they're adults. They're early 20s.
Yeah, for reference here, we're playing grown men. We're playing dudes who are pushing 25, 30 years old. We're playing dudes, bald head, goatee, beard, cut off T-shirts because they were too fat to show their stomach in public.
Just the guy you were trying to fight.
Shit like that. Yeah, the guy I was trying to fight, basically. So, the game goes on, and we're thinking to ourselves, we're having a good time. Conventional wisdom would say, grown men playing against 16-year-old guys, don't be like mad aggressive. Basically,
it's water basketball.
It's water basketball.
Who takes water basketball seriously? Like,
but these guys were sweating,
bro.
Like sweating in the reference of like when you play video games, sweating like tryhards, basically.
Yeah.
And like somebody puts up a shot, go for the rebound. These dudes are like fucking Rodman, Malone, KG elbows in the paint, dude.
Yeah.
And I was starting to get frustrated. I started talking a little shit. I started jawing a little bit. I'd hit a shot. I'd jaw a little bit. And I could see out of the corner of my eye, Alex is a little apprehensive of what's going on because he's starting to see play pick up, get a little physical.
I have fun, and you know what? For me, it's just a game. I'm non-confrontational about most things, and then whenever Garrett is talking shit, I'm very non-confrontational about things because usually it's the wrong person to be confrontational with, and I'm like, God damn it. So I'm like looking, and I'm like, hey, this is happening.
This dude, I don't know. Me and this dude started jawing at each other, and then
Garrett looks older than he actually is because of the beard, though. So
true, that is true.
He probably thought he was in his early 20s. Garrett's 16, and because he looks the same as he did when he was 16. So.
Kind of. And so somebody puts up a shot. I jump up for the rebound, right? This dude two-hands me on my titties and pushes me behind the basket. For reference also, behind the basket on like the little thing, there's rocks. Like tons of artificial rocks and stuff like that. And so I get pushed to my titties, right? I go underwater, I'm falling, and my back is fucked up, dude. I got hella scratches running down all of my left side of my back because I fall straight down on these rocks. And it's go time. It was go time, dude. I get up. I get up. I pick up the ball. Poof, right at him. Like a heater, right? And this dude looks at me, and then they
they're pushing, but you know what they're trying. What's funny is like you're trying to run in water, both of them, right? So here they are. They're like this, really.
Like fucking slow-mo, like we're on Baywatch or something.
Yeah, right. That was like part of me was laughing at that, but
and then they pull us apart and stuff like that, and then we cooler heads prevail, and then I decide, maybe this is the best idea. And Alex talks to me a little bit, and he goes, "Hey, like maybe we shouldn't be playing anymore." And so we leave. They go play their game. I'm still hot. I'm talking shit still as we're leaving, and then. I don't know, man. That dude, I would have gave him all the smoke if they didn't. I obviously wouldn't if I would have got my ass kicked. But like,
he was a big guy. All you had to do was bob and weave. You just had. Meanwhile,
big guy.
And I know I'm small, so they're separating them. I'm at the top of the, I guess what we call the paint, but it was just like the water, and I'm just like ready for the ball because I'm ready to check up and like get going, get back to the game.
Alex is almost completely oblivious of what's going on.
I'm looking, and I was like, I was looking at it. I think Christopher was talking to me about something. I was like, yeah. And I looked back, and they're being held apart. And I was like, huh? Like, I was like, bro. And then I was like waiting for the ball. I'm looking for the ball. I'm like, bro, where's the ball at? Like, can we just keep going? But after that, we left because Garrett Garrett likes to fight people, so it's okay. You know, I'm just like I'm.
Listen,
like,
all
okay.
I'm saying is when the world stops ending, next time I go to San Antonio in the summertime, going to Schlitterbahn, and if I see that guy, I'm shipping him these hands, same day delivery. It's on site.
Garrett, I doubt you would ever see him again.
But imagine.
I remember you, goatee. No,
you don't ass motherfucker.
No, dude, this dude lost all his weight. He's just like, now he's all like,
yeah, he's fucking yoked.
Yeah, he's just like,
like, oh, nice to see you, sir.
He's like, nice to meet you. But I think that's gonna do it. As a reminder, we are with Vendetta Sports Media, ChicksTape Pod. That is the account that we share for, talk about basketball and stuff. You can follow. I just had a blank. You can follow Garrett's personal account at notorious_GMB.
See.
Yes. So at notorious_GMB. I'm not going to spell out notorious, NOTORIOUS. Okay, I just want to make sure I could do it.
This dude just said I'm not going to.
I just want to make sure I could spell it. But yeah, it's notorious_GMB. Follow. He talks about basketball. He talks about other things. I usually use the account that we shared to talk about basketball. So follow us there. This will go up on YouTube. And I think that's it. Check out the website if you can, Vendetta Sports Media. It's a good site. We got a lot of new people in there. And you know what? There's a lot of good articles, NFL, NBA, soccer, NHL, all that jazz. It's a good site. Other than that, I think that's it. Garrett, any last things you got? Okay. Thank you, Garrett. All right. And you know what? It won't be 3 months to the next podcast episode. I can guarantee that. But you know what? I'm hoping for next week. There might be some, side ones in between. We'll see. But till next time, see you later. And then I gotta stop the